Hey, just a little bit of help with the fourth puzzle on this escape room. So if we just take a look at problem number one. So you have a middle school that's having a fundraiser. They sold a total of 300 tacos and enchiladas. Tacos were $2 each, enchiladas $3, and they made $780. So what we need to do is figure out, okay, great, I know how much they sold tacos and enchiladas for, but I don't know how many they sold. So like with most word problems, the first thing we want to do is assign variables. So I'm going to say let x equal the number of tacos, and let's say let y equal number of enchiladas. Enchiladas. Okay, so here's what we do know. I know that they sold a total of 300. Okay, sorry, my son needed some help. So what I do know is that they sold 300 total tacos and enchiladas together. That gives us our first equation. So that means the number of tacos plus the number of enchiladas all together was 300. Does that make sense? So I don't know how many of each they sold, but it tells me in the problem that they sold a total of 300 together. So there's that. Then the next sentence deals with money. And it says that tacos were $2 each, enchiladas were $3 each, and they made $780. So if they sold tacos for $2 each, okay, so that means they're going to do 2 times however many tacos I sold, plus, and then enchiladas were $3, so that'll be $3 times however many enchiladas were sold, gets me $780 altogether. Okay, so now I have 2 equations, and I can solve this system using any one of the methods that we've already learned. So you could do, sorry if you can hear my son yelling in the background, but anyway, you could do elimination, you could do substitution. So I would probably do elimination here. So I would multiply this top one probably by a -2. And then that way my x's will cancel. So I'm just going to do that timesing by 2, and I'm going to write it down here. So it would be a -2x minus 2y equals -600. And now if I add these two together, the 2 x's cancel. Sorry, 3y minus 2y is just y. 780 minus 600 is 180. So now I know that y is 180. So the number of enchiladas must have been 180. But I still don't have the answer to my question, because the question was, how many tacos did they sell? Well, remember, to find the other variable, you just go back to one of your originals. So let's go right back to this x plus y equals 300, that original equation. And now that I know that y is 180, I can solve this pretty easily. So if I just subtract that 180 from both sides, turns out that x is going to be 120, and that is the number of tacos. So according to the escape room sheet, that 120 is a possible answer, and it corresponds with the letter B. So now I know that the first spot is going to be the letter B. I'm going to help you set up the second one too, just to make sure that we're good. They all kind of operate the same way. It's just going to be a different scenario. So in the second one, instead of tacos and enchiladas, it's children and adult movie tickets. But everything works the same way. So if we read the second one, Ms. Thomas took her family and friends to the movies. There were a total of 16 people. Children tickets cost $6 and adult tickets cost $9. She spent a total of $129. How many adults went to the movies? So I don't know how many adults went, and I also don't know how many children went. So I'm going to say X. I have X be children, and it doesn't matter if you have X be adults or X be children, it doesn't matter, but you need to set it up in the beginning. So X will be children tickets, and then Y, I'll have Y be adult. Okay, so now I'm going to read. It says there were a total of 16 people. I don't know how many were children and how many were adults, but altogether there were 16. So children plus adults gets me a total of 16. Okay, and then the next sentence is where I bring in the money. So children were $6 each and adults were $9 each. So I have children as X. So that means 6X if each child ticket was $6, and then $9 for every adult ticket. So that would be 9Y. And she spent a total of $129. So there's the equations that you would use to solve number 2. Okay, and then so I'm not going to do this one out for you. Now that I gave you the equations, now hopefully you can just solve those 2 and get your answer. I will help you set up, I think I'll help you set up number 3 as well. Yeah, okay, we'll do 3. I'll just help you get the equations. All right, 3. Last season, 2 running backs on the college football team rushed for a combined 1,550 yards. One rushed 4 times as many yards as the other. How many yards did the player with the most yards rush? Okay, so I have no idea how many yards each one rushed. So let X equal, let's say, player 1. And let's let Y equal player 2. Okay, and you know what? I'm also going to designate that player 2 was the one that had the higher score. Just because they refer later on to one had more than the other. So I'll just pick one of them to be the higher one. So it says last season, 2 running backs on the college football team rushed for a combined 1,550 yards. That means I don't know how much player X did and I don't know how much player Y did, but all together they did 1,550. So there's my first equation. The second equation said one rushed 4 times as many yards as the other. Okay, so I chose Y to be the player with the higher score, if you will, right? So that means that his number of rushing yards is equal to, it says 4 times as many as the other. So my other player, X, I need to do 4 times that. And that would get me the high score of player 2. And believe it or not, those are my 2 equations right there. And so this one, I would solve using substitution if I were you, because it's all set up to do that, right? You could just take, so you already have one variable alone, take 4x and substitute it into that equation in place of that y. So then you'd have x plus 4x equals 1550. And then you should be able there. Okay, and what the hey, I'll help you get set up on the 4th one since it's our last day. All right, last one, let's read. At a cost restaurant, what is that? I don't know. I think that's a typo. At a cost restaurant, the cost for a hot dog and a soft drink is $2.10. The cost for 2 hot dogs and 3 soft drinks is $5.15. Determine the cost of a soft drink. Okay, I have no idea what the cost of a soft drink is or a hot dog. So I'm going to pick one of them to be X. So I'll say X is cost of hot dog. And I'll have Y be the cost of soft drink. I'm just going to call it soda. Oh, okay. So we have 2 different scenarios. 2 hot dog, oh, wait. 1 hot dog, 1 soft drink is $2.10. 1 hot dog plus 1 soft drink equals $2.10. Okay, so there's one of my equations. The next equation says 2 hot dogs, so that would be 2x for me, and 3 soft drinks or sodas, that would be 3y, is going to be a total of $5.15. Okay, and then there's your 2 equations, and you're going to solve that like you normally would. make sure that you are paying attention to where the decimal point goes, right? Don't just write that as 210. That would be an awful lot of money for one hot dog and one soda, right? So just be mindful of the decimal points. Okay, hopefully this helps. And yeah, okay, good luck. Let me know if you're still stuck.